Total score, click or tap here to enter text. Of 40 points. Assignment directions. Read the passage. Read aloud. Then write a response to the prompt. Use at least 2 pieces of textual evidence from the story to support your analysis. Your written response should be a short essay, about 1 to 2 paragraphs. Excerpt from The Cask of Amontillado. By Edgar Allan Poe. Edgar Allan Poe is well known for writing short stories with a macabre, or ghastly, theme. In this story, the narrator Montresor believes Fortunato has spoken ill of him. Montresor has plotted revenge and lured Fortunato into his cellar with the promise of a taste of a very special type of wine, called Amontillado. Fortunato is having a coughing fit at the beginning of this excerpt. Montresor pretends to be worried about him, but he really wants revenge. Ugh. 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 My poor friend found it impossible to reply for many minutes. It is nothing, he said, at last. Come, I said, with decision, we will go back, your health is precious. You are rich, respected, admired, beloved, you are happy, as once I was. You are a man to be missed. For me it is no matter. We will go back, you will be ill, and I cannot be responsible. Besides, there is Lucchese. Enough, he said, the cough is a mere nothing, it will not kill me. I shall not die of a cough. True, I replied, and, indeed, I had no intention of alarming you unnecessarily, but you should use all proper caution. He again took my arm, and we proceeded. These vaults, he said, are extensive. But let us proceed to the Amontillado. Be it so, I said, offering him my arm. He leaned upon it heavily. We continued our route in search of the Amontillado. We passed through a range of low arches, descended, passed on, and descending again, arrived at a deep crypt, in which the foulness of the air caused our flambeaux rather to glow than flame. At the most remote end of the crypt there appeared another less spacious. Its walls had been lined with human remains, piled to the vault overhead, in the fashion of the great catacombs of Paris. 3 sides of this interior crypt were still ornamented in this manner. From the 4th side the bones had been thrown down, and lay promiscuously upon the earth, forming at one point a mound of some size. Within the wall thus exposed by the displacing of the bones, we perceived a still interior recess, in depth about 4 feet, in width 3, in height 6 or 7. It seemed to have been constructed for no especial use within itself, but formed merely the interval between 2 of the colossal supports of the roof of the catacombs, and was backed by one of their circumscribing walls of solid granite. The Amontillado, ejaculated my friend, not yet recovered from his astonishment. True, I replied, the Amontillado. As I said these words I busied myself among the pile of bones of which I have before spoken. Throwing them aside, I soon uncovered a quantity of building stone and mortar. With these materials and with the aid of my trowel, I began vigorously to wall up the entrance of the niche. I had scarcely laid the first tier of the masonry when I discovered that the intoxication of Fortunato had in a great measure worn off. The earliest indication I had of this was a low moaning cry from the depth of the recess. There was then a long and obstinate silence. I laid the 2nd tier, and the 3rd, and the 4th, and then I heard the furious vibrations of the chain. The noise lasted for several minutes, during which, that I might hearken to it with the more satisfaction, I ceased my labors and sat down upon the bones. When at last the clanking subsided, I resumed the trowel, and finished without interruption the 5th, the 6th, and the 7th tier. The wall was now nearly upon a level with my breast. I again paused, and holding the flambeaux over the mason work, threw a few feeble rays upon the figure within. It was now midnight, and my task was drawing to a close. I had completed the 8th, the 9th, and the 10th tier. I had finished a portion of the last and the 11th, there remained but a single stone to be fitted and plastered in. I struggled with its weight, I placed it partially in its destined position. But now there came from out the niche a low laugh that erected the hairs upon my head. It was succeeded by a sad voice, which I had difficulty in recognizing as that of the noble Fortunato. The voice said, "Ha! Ha! Ha! He! He! A very good joke indeed, an excellent jest. We shall have many a rich laugh about it at the palazzo. He! The Amontillado," I said. He! Yes, the Amontillado. But is it not getting late? Will not they be awaiting us at the palazzo, the Lady Fortunato and the rest? Let us be gone. Yes, I said, let us be gone. For the love of God, Montresor. Yes, I said, for the love of God. But to these words I hearkened in vain for a reply. I grew impatient. I called aloud, "Fortunato." No answer. I called again, "Fortunato." No answer still. I thrust a torch through the remaining aperture and let it fall within. There came forth in reply only a jingling of the bells. My heart grew sick on account of the dampness of the catacombs. I hastened to make an end of my labor. I forced the last stone into its position, I plastered it up. Against the new masonry I re-erected the old rampart of bones. For the half of a century no mortal has disturbed them. In pace requiescat. How do the interactions between Montresor and Fortunato in the Cask of Amontillado advance the plot? Use evidence from the text to support your response. Your response should be at least 2 complete paragraphs. Answer. Type your answer here.